Welcome to Godsmacked, where AI collides with ontology, and your old self doesn't make it out alive. Not safe, not scripted, not sorry. This is for founders, thinkers, and creators who crave more than conversation. They want confrontation. We don't talk about change, we engineer it. No fluff, no filter, just tools, truth, and transformation. Welcome to your initiation.
Okay, so I want you to do something for me. Just take a look at your browser tabs right now. Seriously, just count them.
Uh-oh. I feel like I'm about to be called out.
Well, if you're like most of us, you've got Gmail in one, a Google Sheet in another, maybe your calendar.
Yeah.
A Google Doc, and you are the one doing all the work. You're the mule.
Yeah.
You're manually carrying data from tab A, copying it, clicking over to tab B, pasting it. Then you realize the formatting is all wrong.
It's the digital equivalent of running buckets of water from a well to your house because you haven't installed the plumbing yet. I mean, it works, you get the water, but you're just exhausted.
Exactly. And we just accept this. We think being busy is the same thing as being productive, but we've got this whole stack of material today that says we're doing it all wrong.
Right. They're basically arguing that we're ignoring this universal remote for our entire work life.
And the reason we ignore it is, let's be honest, it's fear. The tool is Google Apps Script. And, historically, if you said app script to someone, they'd hear, you need to learn how to code, and just immediately tune out.
Oh, for sure. The eyes glaze over.
My eyes glaze over. I see a curly bracket or a semicolon, and I just panic. I assume I'm not smart enough to be in that room.
Right. But that's the whole point of this deep dive.
Yeah.
The sources we're looking at today are not telling you to go learn JavaScript. They're saying that whole barrier to entry, it's gone. The premise is coding without code.
The idea that you don't need to be the builder anymore, you just need to be the foreman. You tell the crew what to do, and they go build the skyscraper for you.
Precisely. The game has totally changed. You just need to know how to ask an AI to do the heavy lifting. So our mission today is to figure out how do we build this universal remote for ourselves, without a 6-month coding boot camp.
Okay, let's do it. So let's start with the tool itself. What actually is Google Apps Script? Because to me, it sounds like something buried in the IT department's basement that I am not supposed to touch.
It's actually hiding in plain sight. Technically, Apps Script is a cloud-based scripting language. But the sources all use this universal remote analogy that I think is just perfect.
Okay.
Think about your living room in the 90s. You had a remote for the TV, one for the VCR, one for the stereo.
Oh yeah, the coffee table was just a sea of remotes, and you're juggling them, trying to turn the volume down on one while you hit play on another.
Exactly. In the Google world, Gmail is the TV, Sheets is the VCR, Calendar is the stereo. They don't talk to each other. App Script is that universal remote. You press one button, and it sends a signal to all of them at once. Find this email, grab the date, put it on my calendar, and make a new folder in Drive. All at once.
Okay, but how is that different from something like Zapier? Because I use Zapier to connect things, and it works pretty well. Why would I want to mess around with a script?
That's a great question, and the sources make a really strong distinction here. Tools like Zapier or Make.com, they're fantastic, but they're external bridges. They're like hiring a courier to run a package from your house to the post office.
And couriers cost money.
They do. Zapier has subscription costs. They charge per action. If you have a workflow that runs 1,000 times a month, that bill gets high fast. App Script is native. It lives inside the Google house. It's not a bridge. It's the internal wiring.
So it just speaks the language better.
Much better. And this is the real kicker. For most standard use cases, it is completely free. You're using Google's own servers to run this stuff, and it costs you $0.
That server part is interesting, too. The sources mention something about not needing your laptop to be open, because when I run a macro at Excel, my computer sounds like it's about to take off.
Yeah, this is huge. App Script runs on the cloud. You could write a script that says, every morning at 6 a.m., scan my email for invoices and put them in this spreadsheet. You could be asleep. Your laptop could be dead. Doesn't matter. Google's servers are running it for you. It's like having a 247 employee that works for free.
Okay, that's really compelling. Free, native, runs in the background. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room. You still have to get the code. So how does this new workflow actually work in practice?
This is that shift from engineer to architect. In the old days, you had to know the syntax, var this, function that. Now your job is just to describe what you want in plain English.
So walk me through it. I'm sitting at my computer. I want to automate something. What do I actually do?
Okay, step 1. You open your AI of choice, Gemini, Claude, whatever, and you just write a prompt. Something like, write a Google App script that takes the row I just added to this Google Sheet and creates a Google Calendar event.
Super literal, like you're talking to an intern.
Exactly. Step 2. The AI spits out a block of code. Now, listen closely. You don't read this. You don't try to understand it. You just copy it.
I like that part. I do not need to know how the sausage is made.
Not at all. Step 3. You go to your Google Sheet, click Extensions, then App Script. A new tab opens. You delete whatever dummy code is in there. You paste your code, and you hit Save.
And then run.
Then run. The first time, Google will pop up a scary-looking window asking for permission. This script wants to see your calendar. You just click Allow because, you're the one who told it what to do.
Okay, but here's where I always get tripped up. Tech never works perfectly the first time. The sources mentioned what to do when you get that big red error message.
Yes, this is where most people quit. They see red text, they panic, and they think, see, I broke it. I'm not a coder. But the new workflow has a solution. The strategy is don't debug it. Tattle on it.
Tattle on it. What do you mean?
You take a screenshot of the error or you copy the red text. You go right back to the AI chat and you say, you gave me this code and it produced this error. Fix it.
So you're literally scolding the AI.
You're managing your engineer. You're saying, hey, you messed up. And the AI will usually apologize, explain what it missed, and give you a corrected block of code. You just copy, replace, and run it again.
That's a loop I can handle. I'm not fixing code. I'm just managing the bot that fixes the code.
Exactly. And if one AI gets stuck, like Gemini, you just take the whole conversation over to Claude and say, hey, can you take a look at this? It's like getting a second opinion from a specialist.
Okay, so we know the tool, we know the workflow. Let's talk about what we can actually build. The sources had some examples that honestly felt like magic tricks.
Oh, there are some incredible use cases here. And they range from, like, personal sanity savers to full-on business operational engines.
The one that jumped out at me was the Godsmacked email organizer, which, aside from the name, tackles a problem I have every single day. The black hole of the promotions tab.
Ugh, yes. We've all been there. You sign up for something important, a VIP client, a community. But Google decides their emails are ads and you just never see them.
So how does a script fix this better than a normal Gmail filter? Because I can set up a filter.
A filter is passive. It only looks at new stuff coming in. The script they described is aggressive. It's a retrieval tool. You tell it, go through my entire email history years back and find every single email from this person.
It's doing digital archaeology.
It is. And it finds them, applies a special label, color codes it, forces it into your primary inbox, even stars them. The source mentioned a user finding emails from 2021 they didn't even know they had.
That's powerful. You're curating your own feed, making sure you see what you think is important, not what an algorithm thinks.
Right. And you can set that script to run every hour. You never miss a beat.
Okay, now for what I'm calling the party trick. The screenshot to calendar workflow. This one blew my mind. Walk us through this.
This is where it gets really fun. So the scenario, you're at a conference, there's a slide on the screen with a schedule. Or you get a PDF flyer for an event. It's just an image.
Right. And usually I'd take a picture, and then later that night I'd be in my hotel room manually typing 10 a.m. keynote into my calendar. It's a huge bane.
So much friction. So you just don't do it. With this workflow, you take a photo, you upload that image to Gemini, and you say, extract the event data from this image into a table.
So the AI is reading the text for you.
It's reading it and structuring it.
Okay.
Then in the same chat, you say, now write a Google Apps script that takes this table data and creates events on my Google Calendar. You can even tell it, make the events red, or mark me as busy, or invite my assistant.
And it just does it. It creates the code.
It creates the code. You copy, paste, run it once, and boom, your entire schedule for the next 3 days is on your calendar.
That is just wildly efficient. You're turning a static image into a live functional schedule in, what, 2 minutes?
Instantly. Think about a gym schedule, class syllabus.
Yeah.
You could digitize anything.
The third example was about professionalizing spreadsheets. This seemed geared more towards people who have to share data with clients.
Yeah, this is about user interface. If you send a client a raw Google sheet, it looks like a spreadsheet. It's messy.
And clients break them. They type over a formula and then call you saying your tool doesn't work.
Exactly. So with AppScript, you can add a custom menu at the top of the sheet. Right next to File and Edit, You can have a button that says Client Tools.
That's so cool. So it looks like a real piece of software.
It does. They click it, and a drop-down appears. Add New Project. Archive completed. When they click Add New Project, a clean sidebar pops out with a form. They fill it out, hit Submit, and the script puts the data exactly where it needs to go.
So you're hiding all the ugly machinery in the background. You're basically white labeling Google Sheets.
That's a perfect way to put it. You're turning a free tool into something that looks like a custom app. The sources even mention building a poor man's DocuSign to automatically sign and email PDFs.
Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial question. One of the sources posed it perfectly. Okay, I have the hammer, but I don't know which nail to hit.
This is the business of automation. It's one thing to build a cool toy, but it's much harder to build a tool that actually saves you time or makes you money.
And the source suggested a way to find those problems. It was a prompt, right? The discovery engine.
Yes, and it's brilliant. Instead of staring at your screen wondering what to automate, you use the AI as a consultant. You give it a prompt like, "You are a Google Workspace automation architect. Your goal is to interview me to find bottlenecks in my workflow. Ask me one question at a time."
I love that. You're making the AI interview you.
And it digs deep. There was this case study where a user was complaining about how messy their downloads folder was. Hundreds of files named invoice final.
I feel so seen right now. That is my desktop.
And the user just assumed they were lazy. But the AI pushed back. It diagnosed the problem not as laziness, but as executive function tax.
Executive function tax. What is that?
It's the mental energy you spend on the decision. Every time you save a file, you have to decide, where does this go? Client folder, finance folder. Do I need a new folder? That micro decision costs energy. And when you're tired, you just default to saving it on the desktop.
Wow. That is such a validating way to look at it. It's decision fatigue.
Exactly. So the automation isn't just move the file, it's remove the decision. You build a script that looks at the file name. If it says invoice, it automatically goes to the finance folder. You never have to think about it again.
Once you find that tax, you can build these systems. The source has mentioned an intelligent email gatekeeper for freelancers.
Right. It triages your inbound leads. If a lead has a high budget, the script marks it urgent and texts you. If it looks like spam, it archives it. If it's mid-range, it sends a polite auto-reply. You're filtering the noise before it even hits your brain.
And the other big one was client onboarding.
Huge. Think about all the steps. Create a contract, a drive folder, draft a welcome email, schedule a kickoff call.
It's like 20 minutes of copying and pasting the client's name over and over.
And if you misspell it once, you look unprofessional. With a script, you have a form. You type the name once, hit one button, and it does everything, instantly.
It's instantaneous.
And this leads to a massive insight the source material brought up. You aren't just doing a task for a client anymore. You are selling an asset.
Break that down for me. What's the difference?
If you're a VA, you charge for the hour it takes you to organize a calendar. But if you build this onboarding engine for a client, you're giving them a piece of software. You're replacing a monthly SaaS subscription with a custom one-time setup. That's a high-value asset you can sell for way more than your hourly rate.
It changes the whole mindset from I am a helper to I am an automation architect.
Precisely. You're building the engines that run their business.
We've covered a ton of ground here. We've gone from, being scared of the blinking cursor to realizing we can just copy-paste our way to building incredible tools.
And I think the biggest takeaway is that the technical barrier is largely an illusion now. The barrier isn't, can I write code? It's, can I clearly describe what I want?
It puts the power back in the hands of the people who are actually doing the work. You don't have to wait for IT or pay for another subscription. You can just build the solution to your own problem.
It's incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
But it also forces you to look at your workday differently. You can't just mindlessly click anymore. You have to ask, why am I doing this manually?
Which brings us to this final thought from the source material that really stuck with me. It was a question about who's really in charge of your day.
Yes. The quote was, friction changes depending on whether you own the clock or report to it. And it raised a question for everyone listening.
What's the question?
Look at your workday. Are you working for your tools? Feeding the calendar, feeding the email, feeding the spreadsheet? Or are your tools working for you?
And if they aren't, maybe it's time to open up Gemini, tattle on some error messages, and start building your own universal remote. Thanks for diving in with us.
Might be automating.
You've been Godsmacked. But listening is the easy part. Now it's time to build. Join us in the Forge, where the episode becomes action and clarity gets weaponized. First initiation's on us. Access is limited. Courage is required.